and welcome to an episode of my ZiaWoolz StudioBuzz. My name is Duck and I'm coming to you from Albuquerque in New Mexico, and I'm also the dyer of my little indie dyeing yarn company, ZiaWoolz. I can't believe I'm actually finally sitting outside. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the wind doesn't pick up, and it's a Saturday, so there's nobody working in the area because there's a house being built not too far away where we have some noise, but it's actually just today just really perfect. So I thought, finally I'm making it happen. I've been wanting to sit outside to record a podcast episode for quite some time, and today, yes, finally. I have my coffee here with me, and the table is covered in knits, and you may have seen the last little mini episode, the woolly one, or the inky one, because actually the very last one was an inky one about my fountain pens that I have currently inked. But the last woolly episode that I recorded and put up here was the one where I talk about the projects that I take on my trip to Colorado. So we've been back for a week now, and we were in Pueblo and in Denver, Colorado, and it was really nice, as to be expected. Why wouldn't it be? I was a little bit under the weather for a few days, so I don't know what was going on, if it was just a minor mild virus that put me in this weird state, but it's okay. It was all good. But the main thing is that I had talked to my friend Andrea, who used to live in Denver, about all the yarn stores, and of course I googled them also, and in the end I visited the most beautiful yarn store to me ever. Yep, I said it, because I am a hand dyer, and that store probably had 80% hand-dyed yarns. Yes. I shopped, and I will show you what I brought home, which yarns I purchased, and I will also show you a little bit, give you a tiny video tour that I took at the store. And the store is called Colorful Yarns. I think technically it's in Littleton, Colorado, but more about that later. It's a far drive for us, so I got a lot of knitting done, but you may wonder, what in the end did you actually touch and finish? I bring a lot because I want to have all the choices, but then I only worked on the SAGITTA because it turned into a monster with so many stitches that I felt like I cannot put that down, because if I do, I may never get back to it. I just really wanted to have it finished, and so I did, and I blocked it in the past days, and I will show you in a second, but I will also show you first the smaller things that got done. And it's my first pair of Dukes for the season. And yes, Duke refers to my free knitting pattern up on Ravelry, the Duke City Mitts. And every year, this is the time of year where there is a knit along for the Duke City Mitts happening, and it's called the Duke Mania. So you can tag your mitts on Ravelry with Duke Mania 2023, as well as on Instagram, same hashtag. So I hope you're in, and I hope you're going to enjoy making your own Duke City mitts. So for mine, I've used a yarn that's very special to me because it was gifted to me from a fellow German podcaster, Melanie, and I doubled it with a Lana Grossa mohair. Actually, it's silk mohair that I had purchased in Germany. And I made these longer in the wrist section because I just wanted them to be, because they're special and they're for me. And if you are not local and you don't know how a hummingbird sounds, maybe you hear it. It's right above you. Sorry you can't see it. That's a little bit mean. I have a few feeders up here, and they've been visiting quite a bit. So these, I just need to weave in the ends, no big deal. And I used 4mm needles. Like I said, I held the yarn together. I apologize, I only brought the rest of that crazy Schoppe Zauberball. Zauberball. It's pronounced in German. And like I said, 4mm needles. And what I do for the thumbs is I do indeed wind a bit of yarn off the ball to get to a section that kind of relates to the color on the body of the mitt. And I did not, of course, obviously you can never, because it's a crazy Zauberball, so you can never manage 100%, but I think it's close enough. Yeah, these I will just weave in the ends, and these will be for me. And then, where do I put them? I had, because like I said, that yarn was special, the Zauberball. And so I had to, the leftover yarn, I decided to start another pair where I don't hold the yarn double with mohair. And that's where I am right now. One of them is done, thumbs exempt, and I just think the way the knitting, the way the stitches look is so gorgeous, and they really feel it. It feels so nice on the hand. I mean, it's delicate and fine, and I'm using 2.5mm needles. And this is, in theory, a Duke City mitt, but the instructions, the pattern does not include this needle size. So I can tell you, if you've made the Duke City mitts, you will easily be able to modify. That's, I have 13 stitches per needle, so 4 times 13 stitches. And isn't it pretty? Yeah. And I do so the concept is, let me tell you real quick, that you end up with a stitch count for the thumb that is half the total stitches minus 1. In this case, so it's 13 plus 13 minus 1. So we have 25 stitches for the thumb. So as soon as I have reached, with my increases in every third round, as soon as I have reached 25, I will put those stitches on hold and cast on in between. All the other dukes I cast on 2 stitches to replace the thumb stitches. Because this is such a fine knit, I cast on 3 stitches. So 4 times 13, thumb 25 stitches, and then 3 stitches to replace the thumb stitches. And everything else is, of course, up to you, how far up you want this and how many rounds you knit on the cuff. I mean, tell me about this yarn. I just cannot say it enough. It's definitely one of my favorites. You want to see them again? There you go. And that's the Dukes, and both of these pairs are for me. Not that I wouldn't have any fingerless mitts yet, but the more the merrier, right? And now the moment has come where I show you my beautiful SAGITTA shawl. The pattern is by Amanda SCHEUZGER. I hope I haven't butchered the name, but I'm going to put it on the screen. The pattern is written to create an asymmetrical shawl, where you start at a skinny end, you increase your stitches. Can you follow me? And then you have, right? So I was obsessed with the idea of turning it into a triangle, asymmetrical triangle. Of course it is a triangle. So I wanted to have the spine in the center. I wanted to start with a garter tab. And I've been thinking about that for probably about 2 years. That's when I first looked at the pattern and saw that in one of the projects, somebody actually made it, knitted it that way. So I had to work on my courage to actually do it, but I managed and I love it. That was a lot of talking, but you need to know I used 3.5mm needles. I used ZiaWoolz Sugarloaf, as well as the same yarn that was left over from another project, but dyed by a different dyer on a different with Wonderland yarns. It was a gradient kit, and I had already used that yarn in a different shawl, but I wanted to use it all up because I love Sugarloaf. In case you didn't know, that was a joke, because everybody who watches my podcast must know how much I love Sugarloaf. So it's a 100% superwash merino yarn, and it's delicate. It's a light fingering 2-ply, very soft and slightly fuzzy and airy. And yes, so let me finally show you this baby. I don't see what I'm showing you. Blocking, of course, totally changed the shawl, as we all know, because there's tiny cables in here. So initially it looked like it had a tip up here in the middle, and of course that's all gone. And the shawl, really, it took up all of my stamina to not give up. And it is, let me see, I wrote it down. I just measured, because we had, did I just shake you? Sorry. We had a little knit along, a tiny and fine, exquisite group of knitters who knitted this with me, and everybody was done. No, 1 or 2 exceptions. They're all done fairly quickly. But mine, I ended up having, because of the way I worked it, I ended up having a lot more stitches. And the size-wise, it measures 2.40 meters from tip to tip, and from the middle to the tip downward, that is, I gotta look it up, 1.10 meters. And are you sitting? I had 639 stitches at the very end. as I was binding off. It shows a stretchy bind off, which is actually perfect for this. And the technique is you knit 2 stitches, you move them back to the left needle, and then you knit them together through the back loop. Yes, that's how it's done. Yeah, cannot say anything else about it. And yet again, did I forget to bring the label for this gorgeous burgundy orange yarn, but everything is on Ravelry in my projects. And if you want to find me there, I'm Paperdac on Ravelry as well as Instagram, and that's where you will find all the details in my project notes. Yes, and one thing ends, and I should have continued and on all of my other projects that I brought with me on the trip. I mean, I'm telling you, driving from Denver to Albuquerque, more than 7 hours, if you don't really push it, you know, like, which we don't. I mean, no reason to. And plus you take breaks in between for dinner and whatnot. So I could have done more, but I was just really determined to get this done. But I bring a lot. You may want to, I got this funny comment where it's like, I don't bring that many projects. I bring 2 small ones and 1 big one because I don't want to, it's not that I want to knit all the time on my vacation. No, I most certainly don't only knit when I'm on vacation. I knit, of course, when we're driving in the car. My husband is kind enough to usually be the driver, but I feel like I'm bringing a lot of projects because I want to be ready to pick up whatever I feel like. And if I'm going by car, I just put that big bag of projects on my back seat, and that's all fine. And some people also said, wow, you have a lot of project bags. You haven't seen the half of it. That was just a small part of the project bags that I own. And what happens is that a lot of times I love to use the clear ones, and actually one of the knitters that knitted with me, she is a bag maker in Germany that makes clear bags. So I have ordered some from her because I just love being able to see what it is. Yes, okay, that was the SAGITTA. If you think, whoa, this looks very challenging. I mean, even without the modification to turn it into a symmetrical triangle, I have to say it is challenging at times because you cross here and there, you cross 2 stitches, but the outer ones are 4 stitches, and that's stuff like that, that's really fiddly. The lace section, not fiddly at all. Also the little cables here, 2x2 cables, not a big issue, but those these crossed over stitches, they stretched my abilities and, yes, also my patience. But it is done, so what am I even complaining about? I'm not complaining. I love this shawl and I can't wait to wear it. It's, as you can imagine, giant, and it's one of those that you can just wear as a light cover up, and it will make anybody feel gorgeous and beautiful. Yeah, something so special. Yeah. SAGITTA. And then when one thing ends, one must begin another one. And I know I've been talking about finishing. Sorry, I think I gotta yawn. I need more coffee. I've been talking a lot. And I went to bed so late because we had such a fun game night. 4 people, my son and his girlfriend and his partner and my husband and I, and we played a game that I don't think anybody, we hadn't played it, and we were not even sure where it came from. The game is called, if you love games, I'm going to tell you because it's really fun, and we kept saying, oh, one more round. The game is called Priorities. And what you do is you lay out 5 cards on where that say something like feminism, a trip abroad, leftovers, stuff like that. Very random and very different in the type, that they relate to. And the person whose turn it is, which rotates, has to sort them by priority, from love to loathe. And the person writes down the order. Every card has a number. And then the rest of the players sort the cards in the order that they think the person placed them in. So you kind of work as a team, and it's a great way to get to know the other people because you find out about stuff that you didn't have any idea about the person, even though they're family, It's really funny. Yeah. So it's Priorities is the name of the game. Love it, can highly recommend it for at least probably 4 people is a great group size. Yeah. And so that's why we went to bed so late. And by the way, you don't just do that, but then you have letters on the back of the cards, and for every win, you keep the card when you guess right, and in the end, the goal is to spell the word priorities, and whatever you lost and you did not guess correctly, that's the win for the game. And the game also tries to spell priorities. So it's a matter of how good can the group guess to actually really spell out the word priorities. Yeah, so that was that game. I don't know. I know some of my German-speaking friends watched the English episode, and I don't know. I wonder if that's a game that exists in Europe. Let me know if that sounds familiar. Yeah, one more sip of coffee. I have not touched my beautiful Power Flower top, but don't worry, it is not forgotten. And I have not touched my Linea shawl, which is really like moving up very high in priority because I really want to get that done because it's just lovely. But it's sometimes when you put it aside and then you need to, it's hard to regain that momentum to get going with a project. And then I had, for a few weeks, I had planned a new project with my friend Marcus in Germany. And hi, Marcus. And we wanted to knit together the ASTER. That's the name of the pattern, and it's a shawl. And it is stunning, and we have decided to start knitting on it, but I showed you before, but here it is again. Yeah, and I had decided to use this as a main color. And I made the tag. It is Juniper Moon Farm Harriet Fine. It's a baby alpaca blended with nylon for durability. 100 grams have 461 yards. And if you want to imagine butter in yarn form, this is it. I am so in love with this yarn, and I've had it in my stash for a while, and I'm thrilled that I'm finally knitting with it. I did need 2 other colors to complement this color, and it can be challenging to, especially when you have such a dominant yarn with so much character, and you want to complement and yet add a little bit of interest. So I had chosen this as one of the contrasting colors, and the other contrasting color was indeed a fail. So I had probably knitted about 6 or 8 rows with that yarn, and I decided to rip back. I'm going to put in a photo here for those of you who didn't see that post on Instagram, but I went back stash diving. Yes, stash diving is fun. And where's my yarn? I will have to take a break, but at least you can see it here. So I switched from the original choice to this gorgeous, it is a tad muted, the orange color. And the other 2 yarns, this one, this turquoise, is called Perennial. It's a superwash merino with 25% Suri alpaca and 15% nylon, 497 yards on 100 grams by Kelborn Woolens. And I had just gotten this at one of our new local yarn stores here in Albuquerque. And I bought 2 skeins. I bought this color and another color, and I should have brought the green just in case, but I did not. The other color that I brought was not suitable to go with my funky green. It was very much a color like this, a pale blue, and it would have been meh. Well, this one, I think it might work well, but what I'm saying, it's just never, we always have to consider ripping out a color. And people tell me, you're so good with colors. Yes, I'm great with colors. I'm a dyer, but also I'm not always great with colors. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not, but also I want to encourage you to just, I mean, it's a great thing to have fun and to play with colors, and it's no big deal if we rip back a few rows and start over and then have a result that looks better. And you cannot always tell just by holding the skeins together. Let me just go and grab that orange so I can show you better. And you might be able to see what I mean with muted. Let me pull out a bright orange skein that I have by chance right here. And you can probably see this is a lot more stronger than this one. And I really like this. I think it goes great here. And this is by a fellow former dyer, sadly, and who lives in New Mexico, and this is her yarn company, but she doesn't dye yarns anymore. I bought that 6 years ago, by the way. So yeah, just play with colors. I mean, wasn't that the other color looked bad, but this looks better. And also here, a thank you to my friend Des, who said, don't knock out the green. Remember, I was so uncertain if I should keep the green or not. And of course, in the overall picture of the yarn, the green just adds interest. And that's what I was also after for the Aster shawl. I wanted something a little bit unexpected, but also at the same time then create harmony, visual interest, and harmony. Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited about this because it's just a gorgeous design, and the yarn is just an amazing choice. And you're gonna laugh, but actually I was tempted to turn this one also into a triangle like the SAGITTA, but then I thought, am I crazy? I may still do it when I'm done with this, make another one when I really know what's going on in the pattern. We shall see. So that is the Aster. And you've seen the mitts. I've told you about everything I have not touched. And I wanted to show you this bag of yarns again because I'm really, I just purchased another one of NATASJA HORNBY's patterns, and but it needs a lot of like more clear colors, and here I would love to combine some of these colors into a shawl. And my friend Karin, isn't it always funny how we have someone whom we admire who is able to do these amazing things with I'm sure Karin is going to say, wow, you're such an amazing knitter. And I am the one who says, no, Karin, she's such an amazing knitter. She just combines shades of green and starts knitting and combines different patterns and different leftovers, and all of a sudden, poof, you have this amazing, stunning shawl. And that's what I was aiming for with all of these colors. Maybe not. We shall see what happens. And now, yeah, oh yes, and the other pattern from, forgot the pattern I wanted to show you. Hold on. It's not very helpful when people tell you about a pattern and then you have no idea what it looks like. And so I bought it already and I printed it out so I could show you. And the design, the pattern is called Morgana. And another friend of mine, Lauren, she recently made a shawl in this shape where she started from the center, and I wanted to make something similar. And so in the end I decided on this one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But yet again, when I purchased the pattern, I wasn't really thinking much that you cannot use a speckled yarn so well. So I don't know. I pulled out this. I had this out, and I have that other brighter orange. And I had this, which was a test run from that I had dyed. Yeah. I shall see. I'll see what happens. Most of all, with this bag, I would love to do something like my friend Karen, and we have the weekend of the Sandia Heights studio tour here in Albuquerque, and I will go and visit later and visit her not her house. She is showing her work with another artist, and so I'm gonna see what all she's come up with. She also makes project bags. She's an amazing seamstress. Yes, and now new stash. That's already the end of my knits, but I know we all love stash. Oh my goodness, did I say I did not bring the red from the SAGITTA? Here it is. I put it in the box. The box where I have gathered all the things for you. Rearrange a little bit. Yep. This is a yarn from Colorado that I purchased in Taos 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay, and then this one was the other one that I used at the end of the shawl. ZiaWoolz Sugar Loaf in this beautiful rich blue. Now, again, rearranging. I went to the downtown yarn shop in Denver, a small store that focuses more on summer yarns right now. They had a lot of cotton, but I also have always wanted to try Drops Lima, so I bought this, and this was in a tiny bin of kind of like, I don't know if it was a sales bin, whatever, but I was very much drawn to this Barbie pink because everybody needs a little bit of Barbie pink, and if you haven't seen the movie, you got to watch it. Even if you don't like Barbie, it's a great movie. So that's what I got from the downtown Denver yarn store. And then I did get my order of the Linarte Lana Gosa that I'm using for the crochet sweater for my daughter. So I have not picked that one up again, but I just only got my package with that yarn. But because yarn can never travel by itself, it would feel lonely. So I also got these two. I thought I was going to be able to use them for fingerless mitts, but I have to play a little bit because it looks very fluffy and fuzzy. But as soon as you really look at the yarn, you can probably tell that it's very fine when you actually use it and stretch it. And it is a very interesting combination of 33 virgin wool. I need more coffee, or talk slower and breathe in between because my body wants to yawn. "32 polyacrylic, 14 silk, 14 cotton, 7 polyamide." And what needle size? What? They recommend 4.5 millimeter needles, not at all. No. 3 millimeters at the most. Definitely not. No bigger needle. No. Especially for fingerless mitts. Okay, that's that. We shall see what happens with these guys. I'm not even sure at this point if I'm going to use them for fingerless mitts. But yeah, I thought they were so pretty with that gradation. Okay, and now, drum roll. we will talk about the yarns that I have purchased at Colorful Yarns in Denver. But let me see. Oh, look what else is in the box. I never showed you the finished sock. Double knit socks. The sock yarns held together, and I think I only showed you these socks before weaving in the ends. Okay, this wonderful yarn store. Oh my gosh, how am I even gonna start? Okay, I have always wanted to try Life in the Long Grass, so I decided on this one. More Barbie yarn. Right? And I brought you one of the skeins that I have dyed myself these days, and I feel like mine is really, in comparison, so pale. It's funny because I went for, oh well, you will see what I got. Okay. Then I got spun right round. I love her. I've been following her on Instagram for ages. She's incredibly talented and dyes beautiful yarns. So it was really lovely to see her yarns in person and to have a choice from, you know, a whole setup of her yarns. Then I have Western Sky Knits, hand dyed in Montana. Did not know this dyer. Here is another one that was new to me, and honestly, the name of the yarn company did reel me in. It is called Bad Mom Yarns, and it's bad as in ba, so B-A-A-D. And she names her yarns, her bases. I can't tell you what the other ones are, but this one is called Tough Mom, this base. It's a great one, kind of a sagey green. Love that. And now, okay, people, I have a thing for Stitch Together Yarn Studio, hand dyed somewhere in Iowa. So whenever I find her yarns in person, and I haven't seen them in like a few years in a yarn store, but when I do, I go a little bit crazy. That's what happened. So yeah, I think if I had to choose a favorite dyer, her and Hedgehog Fibers. I hope you can see that well. I think I have built a bit of a collection of her yarns and her colorways. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Do we want to know the names, the colorway names? Yes. Not in my knitting, you bitch. Oh shoot, there's a sticker over this. Hold on. Chilly down? Is that what it says? Chilly down, maybe. Chilly down. I did not get any of these for free. Let me tell you this. Not if you think I was just going a little bit crazy. Scrunchy. Unspoken lies. Rust bucket. Bruised ego. That's so funny. And what is this? You are so jaded. Yep. Then here, the Bad Mom Yarns. This is Minty. Minty? What is this? Maybe Someday by Spun Right Round. This is Lilac Love by Western Sky Knits, and this is Wild Rose Bay by Life in the Long Grass. Yep, and there you have it. I am crazy. Do I know what I want to make with these? No clue at all. Do I have any regrets? Not a single one. And now I want to show you mine, which is kind of more muted. This is what I've been working on these days. Something like this. Yeah. I think I have in mind this, because this would work. It's not too speckled for this. I think that's what I have in mind. This wouldn't work for the Morgana. Too poof. Okay, and that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for watching and for continuing to come by. If you have not done so, I'd love for you to subscribe. Find me on Ravelry, like I said, as Paper Dag, and become my friend so I can check out what you are making. And like the video so others can find it a little bit more easy, because that's what happens when more people like it, then more people can find it. Okay. And that's it from me for today. I hope you have an absolutely lovely weekend and filled with wonderful, beautiful, colorful, yarny things. And stay tuned for the video, the short footage that I'm going to put on the end of the yarn store in Colorado. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.